Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Prepping by Faith, and today I wanted to talk about something a little bit different, but it's something that has bothered me for a while that I have noticed in the preparedness community. And that is the fact that we seem to have this huge divide when it comes to which conspiracy theories that we embrace and which ones that we reject. And we have a lot of fracturing in the community. We have those that believe the balloons is a thing, those that believe it's a distraction. We have those that are committed to trying to dig into the issues surrounding the Ohio train derailment that took place in East Palestine, and we seem to think there's more there. There are others that will discredit that and say that nothing's going on, that was complete negligence. And then we have other conspiracies that are about, and I'm going to use that word conspiracy. We're going to go ahead and dive into the definition of what a conspiracy is in just a moment. That way we're all on the same page. But, there's been, other things that have floated around about the WHO, things that I have reported on in that nature and in that vein, and talking about the global elite and what their goals are. And there are those that believe in that stuff, and then there are those that do not. And so we have this great divide in the community where, a lot of us will sort of, stand up here and state that others who talk about these certain things are not to be trusted, and they're just clickbait channels, and everything that everybody is putting out, we're trying to lump individuals into one bucket, one category, claiming that everything that they're showing or showcasing is all clickbait, while in effect we're being somewhat hypocritical, and that whatever we're showcasing, we're touting as more important, could be clickbaity in its own right, because it's going against what that other person's narrative is and trying to discredit them. So I want us to talk about this today. I want to go over what I think, what my thoughts are surrounding this issue. And then you guys go ahead and, you go ahead and disseminate the facts from the fiction. You tell me what your thoughts are in regards to this. So how do we really come about deciding which conspiracy theories that we're going to believe and which ones that we reject? That is a big question that I have asked myself many times, and I think a lot of us, we're never going to have all the facts. I don't care how much information is presented to us. We have to kind of put the pieces together, and a lot of us are influenced by others in the community that will share their thoughts and opinions on the matter, and we instantly gravitate to those that we feel like are the most informed, and that is just human nature, right? We are going to a lot of our own personal beliefs and our own personal experiences and everything like that is going to influence us and mold us and shape us into a direction that we are drawn to certain ones in the community. And there is nothing wrong with that, but I do want us to sort of examine this and dig a little deeper. So what is a conspiracy theory anyhow? We're going to go over here and we're going to grab a definition for this. It says it is an attempt to explain harmful or tragic events as the result of the actions of a small, powerful group. Such explanations reject the accepted narrative surrounding those events. Indeed, the official version may be seen as further proof of the conspiracy. So what we're seeing here is that a conspiracy theory has truths intertwined in it, and many times, as we've all witnessed, these things tend to come true. We see them unfolding with the health crisis that we've all witnessed, and a lot of us that have resisted the jabs, and we're seeing all of these lives that are being lost because of it, and we're still being labeled as conspiracy theorists. That information is not stuff that they really want getting out there. They don't want the vast majority of the public getting on board with that way of thinking because they think it's dangerous. And why does the government think that is dangerous? Because that reduces their power, their ability to control. And so with any conspiracy theory, there's always going to be elements of truth in that. And we have to decide, which conspiracy theories are fact and which ones are fiction. And I think a lot of us are always going to be divided on those. We're not always going to come to the same consensus in this situation. And we need to understand that, right? So what I basically wanted to go over a little bit are just my thoughts surrounding this. A lot of the things that we've witnessed in this country, there are those that say, we have the US Constitution there to protect us. We have these rights as, citizens, we have, the ability to defend ourselves with these rights. And while that should be true, and while that, should be the way things are, we have witnessed a different reality ever since we have set foot into this, 2020 trajectory, if you will. We have seen so many things that have taken place, and I'm going to go ahead and go through some of those with you guys and, share my thoughts surrounding that. So, for those of you out there who think that, this WHO stuff is not stuff that we should be paying attention to, that it is all fictionalized, that there is no way that our country's sovereignty can be signed over. The problem that we have right now is that we have a group of people within our country, and I don't care who you want to label them. You can say it's the radical left, you can say it's rogue agencies, you can say whatever it is, but we can see that our country has been sold out. I think most of us have eyes enough to see that and understand that. So, what we witnessed during the 2020 scenario was, the government's overreach. They were coming down from above, and then the states, a lot of the blue states were coming down and then telling people what they could do, where they could go, how they could live, what they, where, how many people they could have in their home at one time. We had a lot of the places of businesses enforcing, the face coverings and the social distancing and everything that went with that, all the dramatic measures. And then as soon as they rolled out the jabs, there was a lot of places of business that required you take those or you lose your job. So where was everybody's rights in that scenario? What rights did people have during that event? A lot of people lost their livelihoods. A lot of people had to walk away from that. Was that able to be pushed back and fought in any way? I want us to ask ourselves these questions. Did a lot of people, get forced out of the military? Did a lot of people get forced out of, state employment situations? Did a lot of police officers lose their jobs? Did firefighters lose their jobs? Did people lose their, ability to stay in? Did they have to forfeit pensions because they did not have the ability to continue working to fill out that obligation to, receive their pensions? These are questions we have to ask ourselves, guys. Did this stuff happen? Did we witness it with our own eyes? And how were they able to get away with it during that time? But somehow we don't believe that going forward that there is any way on God's green earth that they are working on, a bigger plan in the background to bring down more rules, more regulations, more control. And we don't think that they somehow have the ability to do that. Now, should they be able to do that? No, they shouldn't be able to do that. But we are witnessing with our own eyes what is happening to this nation. So, there is also the situation of the J6, and I'm not going to go into all of the details surrounding that, but we still have a lot of people that are rotting in jail there that have not been able to, have correct due process, that have not been able to have the attorneys and everything to get themselves out of those situations. They are still there. That is the fact. That is what we are witnessing with our own eyes. We have a situation that has unfolded recently where the FBI has been targeting Vatican II Catholics. And an internal memo was actually released that by a whistleblower that was stating that they are considered radicals, that they should be monitored via this, Southern Poverty Law Center's public published hate groups. And this is the kind of language that has been trickled down. They have since rescinded this memo, but the only reason they have, guys, is because they got caught, because a whistleblower shared that information, because this is actually what is happening behind the scenes, what is going on in the background. We see a steady movement for all of this equity, this equitable, situation, laws that are coming out surrounding that, where the LGBTQ plus groups are being, heavily promoted. They are being, pushed front and center. They should have all of these rights, and those of us who are opposed to this are somehow, violent E-words and, DTs and everything else that they can throw at us. We're hateful, we're intolerant, we're this, we're that. They want to push this agenda on our children. They want to infiltrate the public school system with this way of thought, this theology. And then we also have, Biden's zero tolerance policy guidelines that have been enacted to shut down all of these, gun stores that commit, the most minute of infractions, paperwork infractions. And so this is the kind of stuff that we are witnessing on a daily basis, where we are seeing all of these things unravel, and we are seeing the fracturing of this nation. And further, I am seeing the fracturing of the preparedness community. I just see it in so many ways. And so what I want us to do is be aware of this. And instead of, dying on a hill, if you will, for certain things that we believe to be right and to be true, and labeling other people in the community as, wild conspiracy theorists or clickbait. We need to move away from that and start looking at the facts. If we want to talk about the facts on our channel and we want to say, well, we see it this way, everybody is going to have a differing opinion. Everybody is going to have, a different way of viewing some of these things. But that does not mean that those other people are wrong. We are not always right. And that is something that I want us to understand. Even if we think we have all of the answers, the day that we think that is the day that we are going to get hit upside the head with reality, right? And we need to understand that all we are doing, or all we should be doing, is trying to share as much information as we gather, allowing you guys to look at that information, decide for yourselves. I'm going to come on here and I'm going to share my opinions because it's my channel. And sometimes I will say, well, I think this or I think that. And I should, because it is a platform and it is my channel. But that does not mean that I am going to discredit others in the community that have a differing opinion or view and say that, you shouldn't be watching their channel, or I think they're nothing but clickbait, or I think this or I think that. What credence do I have to support that? What evidence do I have to state unequivocally that I'm 100% right and that they're 100% wrong? None of us has that. We're all seeing through a glass darkly, and the Bible tells us clearly that a house divided cannot stand. And that is what I am seeing. I see it in every group in this country. I see it in, every state. I see it you can see it on the lowest of levels and at the highest of levels. And so I see this nation fracturing, and it's because we can't set aside our differences. It's because we cannot come together on any issue. I don't care what it is. It used to be that you had, your groups that had the same morals, the same core values and belief systems, and they have actually fractured all of that to the point now where everyone, even that says they believe a certain way, that's why you have so many different denominations, even in the Christian faith, and they can't even come together on issues anymore. We look at people and we literally want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and we think that they have some sort of ulterior motive. And I do not think that most people do. I just don't believe that. I think that most of us in the community are trying to bring you good, solid information, but it's up to you to decide what you think. And we're not even ever going to be able to sway you and your personal opinion. We can't do that because you have your own beliefs, your own thoughts, your own opinions. And I want you to continue to do that. And I want you to continue to feel free to send me, personal emails, or leave a comment and say, well, I'm not certain that this is 100% right. You might be a little off here. Maybe you should look in this direction, research this a little bit more. And I think that is so important that we do that for each other. So that way, none of us are led astray, because the last thing that I want to do is try to lead anyone astray on my channel. I don't want to bring you information that is incorrect. It is why I recently issued an update on my channel surrounding a video that I did share, because as I dug further into that, I was able to find out that, maybe that source that they had quoted through the Gateway Pundit was not correct. And I need to be able to do that, but I also need you guys to give me the grace to allow me to do that. And I think that is so important as content creators, that we remain humble, that we understand that we are, not without fault, and that we really try to embrace everybody in the community and get everybody on the same page and on the same team, rather than trying to, discredit others that have a differing opinion or different thought or a different way of looking at things. We're not going to be 100% right. And I just want to share that with you guys. That's what I've been thinking about. It's something that has weighed heavily on me for a while. Share your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say on the matter. And if you guys have any suggestions as to how we can sort of create this bridge to bring everybody back together and stop getting so segregated into these different groups in the community, I would love to hear what you have to say. And if you guys have enjoyed this video today, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. Remember to pray, prep, and put God first. God bless. Hey guys, are you concerned about the death of the dollar? Are you concerned about a full-blown economic collapse? If you are, I want you to consider giving Genesis Gold Group a call. They are a Christian-based company that is going to help you roll over your 401k into a gold-backed IRA that is self-governed. You also have the ability to send them cash and take possession of those precious metals if that is something that you would like to do. As we see all of these things unfolding before us, the sky high inflation, the move away from the US dollar as a petrodollar, and we see the central bank digital currencies that are going to be underway this summer. Preserving our wealth through precious metals is one way to sort of hedge our bets and make sure that we have something that is going to be more substantial to carry us forward. So go ahead, check them out. They are Genesis Gold Group, genesisgoldgroup.com, or give them a call at 1-800-200-4653. Tell them Prepping by Faith sent you, and God bless.